Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville. My name is Andy Wilson. It's so great to be back with you again. I will tell you, we have got such a great show. I'm telling you, my guest, Karen Kilroy, Orson Weems, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you back in the studio. I will tell you, I'm so excited about today because we're going to be talking about probably the most current, relevant conversation that's happening around the world, and that's artificial intelligence. Wow, that's going to be exciting. And I can't wait. I've got two experts here. They're going to get in. You need to listen up because what's going to happen in the next several minutes with us is that they're going to help bring us along on this incredible topic that's integrating in every business that I know of. And every day you pick up, open the news, and there's another. It's doing it again somewhere. Or we just read what Apple's doing. We read recently what's happening in artificial intelligence in healthcare, on and on and on. Not to mention retail and omnichannel, what's taking place. Okay, Karen is CEO of FileBaby, and I will tell you we're going to talk about FileBaby. And I may have overheard maybe some type of announcement around that today. So we're going to hear about that. Orson Weems, Orson is president of an AI tech company, and he does a lot of other things. Orson, you're into some really great stuff around music and artists, and also you spend time around this whole critical, important topic around artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Hey, I'm trying to talk them into coming on more regularly. Maybe you could send some encouragement to them to get in the studio more often. I thought I'd put you on the spot.
You're the busy man. You're the busy man.
We love hanging out with you anytime.
This book is a great book. It's called Blockchain Tethered AI. Now, what this is trackable, traceable, artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I am reading this book. And while I don't understand a lot of it, I'm learning. I enjoy learning and growing. And I will tell you, great book.
Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, Karen Kilroy's name is right there, too. So that's awesome. Okay. Let's get started.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Now, as we have said earlier, artificial intelligence is just growing so rapidly. As I mentioned, it's integrating into everything in our lives that touches our lives, from what we said, from healthcare to shopping to communication, on and on, right?
Right.
It's just incredible. So let's begin with this question to both of you. Talk to us about what we're going to call the state of artificial intelligence. So talk to us about it.
The state of it.
The state of artificial intelligence is, the seeds have been planted. Or you might say the genie's out of the bottle. Mm-hmm. The genie's not going back in the bottle. I think last time we were here, we were talking about how there were CEOs making decisions about whether or not to bring AI into the companies, while the AI is coming up from within the ranks of the very CEOs could be the ones that are replaced with AI. So, we're in the depth of that right now. It's happening because it's been built into all the software. So that's why all of a sudden it's everywhere, because it's built into the things that people already had.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I think the state is urgent. State of it is urgent. Number one, for understanding what its capabilities and the many uses of it, and number two, the ones that are irresponsible. So we have to deal with the irresponsible, or as Karen likes to call them, the bad actors out there. So that makes it urgent in both sides of that coin, and we're in a position to help explain by having platforms like what you're doing here with DBB. And so we're just glad to be here with you, Andy, because it's urgent, and that's why we'll talk about some of the topics later on the podcast.
Right. Well, as you have said, Karen, last time we talked about it, the conversation was, like you just said, okay, what what are we going to do it? If we do it, and it's very early on, like you said, that's over. It's here.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's not a choice. It's everywhere.
So what we're going to do is help educate you on AI and how you can use it and properly use it, and things that you can engage in, and maybe some things you shouldn't engage in with it, things like that. So, because these two are really the experts and on this, and I will say this about them because I know them. They are trusted experts in this space, and that's really critical. I believe is this a trust that of your information as we all grow and learn and implement AI into our everyday lives. Sure. So this is going to be critical. So Karen, so as you think about this for a minute, about the state of AI, you're involved in it every day. Tell us about what you do. What are you hearing? What you're involved in?
Well, I'm involved in a few different things. I'm a hands-on application developer. So I'm building AI assistants now as one of the regular things that I work on. I've been a web developer for years and years, and then I shifted over the last few, and these AI assistants are what is really changing things, because it's possible to build not just something that will chit chat, but something that's trained on a finite set of information, and then you give them a job description, how they act, just like you would a new person that comes in, and then you can use that. You can tailor that agent to do any type of a job. Good. And that's making a big difference right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you're in this space now, everything you do has a potential of integrating AI into it. Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got the machine learning piece that you're working on. Now you're working on the artificial intelligence piece of that. Is that correct?
The machine learning piece informs the AI piece,
right.
And then there's an application piece, and that's probably what you mean, which is the user-facing piece, where then you would log in and have it do something for you, and that would give you some information back.
Okay. All right. So that's where you spend your time.
I spend probably about half of my time doing that, and then the other half of my time I spend attending CTPA meetings, and which is the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity. And then also there's a content, CAWG is, I can't remember that one, but I remember the working group. It's for the Creators Assertions Working Group. That's what it is. And that's for identity. And then I'm also involved with SIMPTE, which is the Society for Motion Picture and Television Engineers, and their AI and machine learning group.
So you are personally, professionally involved in all of this, and I know you recently went to some meetings or had some meetings. Can you tell us what's happening in that space that you're involved in?
Oh, sure.
Talk to us about that. So give us an idea of what's happening, because in our world, we're not, most of us are not that integrated, that deep into this space.
Well, the space that I'm in, if you think about the things that I just mentioned, content authenticity, and even what would the television and motion picture industry want to do with me, right? Well, they want to make sure that they have attribution for the work that they've done, down to every single person, so then they can make sure everyone gets paid. And that can go from a really professional level, like motion picture industry, or it can go down to what we were talking about before, that anyone should be able to walk into a library, for instance, and be able to get paid for training data and not starve and not have the industry steal their information, because most of it's not on the internet anyway. Most of the training data that these companies want is still in here or in books or people's folders.
So you're regionally involved in it, and that's wonderful, because you're representing all of those thousands, millions of people with substance, you're making sure that you're protecting them. Is that
Yes.
another way to say that?
Yes, Orson also sits on some of those teams, and we are making sure, and we're making sure that we're represented, and that we're thinking about businesses of businesses of our size, or businesses with supply chain concerns, and there's really a lot that we bring to the table in these meetings, and very involved.
Good. So Orson, now you're involved in some of these things too. So talk about your involvement and your input in that.
Certainly, I'm learning and listening quite a bit because, as Karen just said, some of the perspectives that we bring, we come from outside of some of the areas in which some of these guys are computer people and programmers, and we come in with a little bit different perspective from all the different things and experiences that we've done, and we share those. And Karen is one of the few women in the world that sits on these boards, and it's good to have that type of energy and perspective. And so she's sitting there, and she's letting them know in a certain way that this is about just dealing with people, because this is ultimately what it's going to be, is people. But I sit and listen because there's some just astounding things that happen, because I just never would have thought about this last year, Andy. And it happens so fast. But what sitting on these standards committees allows us to see, and so we can give the input of how this can affect people as a whole, because we're talking not too many people at all that are helping put the standards in place. I've said it before, maybe on your last podcast with us. It's giving that good housekeeping seal of approval for us. This is the standard that's going to be recognized around the world for us to do that. And Karen sits on some of the boards of the co-chair. So this is good information for us to learn and absorb it, so that we can actually be in a position to share it with your audience.
Yeah. Okay, so what we've done here is built a bit of foundation for our guests and our viewers here, is because we taught about the topic of artificial intelligence, and now we have two experts that are representing you, if you will, and listening to ensure that this is done right, done legal. Now, Orson, you mentioned to me about a call to action. Yes. And I thought, okay, that caught my attention, because anytime we go down a path like this, and we've been down, these paths of this invention and all, and I don't know if we've faced anything growing as quickly as AI. We may have in the past, but it doesn't seem like anything like this. But when you say a call to action, what do you mean by that?
What was mentioned earlier by Karen is literally for us to understand it's already out.
Yeah.
All right. Now the call to action is for us to utilize it in a way that's responsible, so it can benefit all of us.
Right.
And that call to action is for people to understand. She mentioned the virtual assistants.
Right.
You will need a virtual assistant. You will need it.
Yeah.
And doing business in Bentonville, we'll need one.
Right.
And we're talking about when people were years ago, all of a sudden the buzzword was websites.
Right.
And our VP of technology and data strategist said everybody would need a website.
Right.
This is what we're saying. Karen's built them. We're telling you will need a virtual assistant.
Wow.
It will take some of the things that you do and make it easier for you, not competing.
Yeah.
Because it's Andrew Jenks that says, one of my favorite quotes, or is it Verkoven? I forget. Verkoven says AI won't replace you. Somebody using AI will replace you.
Wow.
So that's incredible. And that says the call to action is to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're learning.
Yeah.
You can talk to folks like us here in this area with your audience. They know how to reach us around anywhere your audience. You reach your audience, and so that's that call to action, is to do something and get knowledgeable about what's taking place.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Anytime we have something like this, it's really important to surround yourself, all of us, with trusted resources, trusted people. And I mentioned up the front of our program today that, I'm sitting across two people that I know that we can trust to give us great information and inform us And in fact, what I'm encouraging our guests to do is to be in the studio more frequently and keeping us up to date and keeping that trusted information. So if you want to know trusted information, you can trust us here at Doing Business in Bentonville, because we're going to have trusted people here to help guide us through this. So talk to me about this, how do we, this personal, I call it personal education, maybe, right here. This is my personal education. Of course, I get to sit across from these two, but they're my personal education too. But talk to us about this trusted resource. What should we do? How do we embrace this AI phenomena? How do we embrace that?
Oh, well, it's really interesting that you say that, because right now with the technology changing, they can actually put in some words to say just what you just said. How do I do this?
Yeah.
And hit a search or a Google, and you'll get an answer, because recently on Google now it's saying AI generated, and you can see it actually thinking or
I've done
coming
that.
up. Okay, so you can say, how do I do this to get a trusted resource? And it'll give you its opinions from all of the data that is consumed anywhere that's out. And it'll give you an answer, and it might put it out in bullet points for you. So you can do just what you're doing. And how do you get this? Like you just said, we can talk to folks like us, and we just happen to be right here in Northwest Arkansas.
Right.
And available for people to talk with, Karen.
And I would make sure that, if it, what they say, that looks like a duck and quacks like a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to be careful, and just make sure that you ask all your questions, and as this book will tell you, and a shorter article. I think you've probably read that article about blockchain. Or AI is really a supply chain. The AI's opaque box is actually a supply chain.
Right.
That's the name of the article that I wrote for O'Reilly on their blog. And that one explains that it's really not some big mysterious thing. You should be able to get your answers to your questions, like, well, how's it going to know to do what I want it to do? How am I going to keep it from making up stories? How's the information stay current? How do we back it up? What if we decide we don't want to stay on this type of AI and we go to a different one? How do we move our data? There's just so many questions. But then there's also the bigger question of content provenance and authenticity. So if you think of the bigger picture, if you want to do something like dynamically produce a whole web page, like I showed you with the thing, with the product that I built yesterday, which anybody can see at my.nix.com, my.nix.baby. It's nyx.baby. N is in Nancy, yx.baby. And so anyway, like if you go to that level and you're producing a web page dynamically, and you might want to have the assets have contact credentials in them. So you'd want to use FileBaby to store your assets, make sure your claims are in there. That is to the C2PA standards that these standards bodies have put together. So then that way you've drawn your line in the sand and you say, this is mine. If AI uses it, it's not okay with me.
Right.
So the next step is to make it okay and then pay them. So these systems all kind of work together. The generative things coming from nowhere, and now you need the nutrition labels.
Okay, you mentioned FileBaby. Let's go there. Let's talk FileBaby.
Okay.
Now, we talked a bit about it last time. We sort of introduced it actually last time, and you can check us out on that podcast. But today, let's just really get into FileBaby. What's going on? What is it? How does people get it? Tell us all about it.
Well, one thing that you can do is you can go to file.baby. Just put that in your browser, and there's an assistant named FileBaby right there in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can chat away with FileBaby, and FileBaby AI will tell you all about it. And these are not child's play AIs. These are all, the ones that I've built recently are all based on ChatGPT Turbo or 3.5 or ChatGPT 4 Omni. which is all the brand new latest. So these are very, very intelligent assistants that have been trained in a particular topic. So that was new. I put that out on FileBaby's website so people can chat with them. And then also, too, remember that FileBaby speaks every language. So, because it's based on ChatGPT, so if you speak French or Dutch or, whatever your preferred languages, I think it's best on baby in Dutch. Best on baby, yeah. So, but anyway, FileBaby, it has artificial intelligence built into it. It has an AI image generator built into it. It has the ability to generate, to claim your work, whether it's new or old, to be able to create what we call a manifest that makes certain assertions about your work, like do not use for AI training, tells how to get a hold of you, and then lets you attach that to any file that you want. So as they're drifting around out in the world, that manifest is attached, and it can be checked in a verifier.
Awesome. Orson, now tell us what FileBaby can protect what's yours. Walk us through, because I know I have this card, and I really like this, because this is really cool. But it says, protect what's yours with FileBaby. Avoid AI misuses. So talk to us about these practical steps. What can FileBaby do?
It can do a lot. This baby's grown up. It literally, just from that, those bullet points on that, it can protect a content. Anyone that creates content, you create content. Anyone.
Right.
An insurance company creates content. A lawyer creates content. Anyone's content can be protected from AI misuse. If it gets out on the internet, it can be absorbed or consumed by and all these large language models. And like has been mentioned here, something can get used, turned into something else. They get money for it. You wouldn't, because it's Andy's material he never knew it got consumed.
Right.
Well, FileBaby, Karen mentioned the manifest. That would put that digital DNA, that provenance, authenticity, let you know what that is yours. That's why our FileBaby logo says mine. And the mine is that is my material. And if someone wants to contact Andy to say, Andy, we like really what you put out on doing business in Bentonville. Can we use a portion of that? It's protected on the FileBaby. We're talking FileBaby protecting faces. We're talking protecting artwork. It can protect the voice, and we've seen so many of these recently, just recently.
Absolutely, we have.
We've seen the voices. We've seen people put out music that has just been altered and consumed, and people don't know whether it's real or not. FileBaby can help protect that, and there's a solution for that. I mean, pictures here, dealing in this retail space here in Northwest Arkansas, we can look at a brand's picture, so that bottle right there, it can be captured, and it's an original. That logo is original, because the FileBaby, this AI can actually pick up pixel changes and all of this. It's very incredible with what it can do. But if somebody misused that logo or manipulated a logo, it can tell, and we would get the notification for that. So that it protects so many different industries and sectors. I mean, it's growing every day. And so we're talking where we can look at utilizing FileBaby for to stop plagiarism. And we can deal with, we saw a lot of that last year and earlier this year with university presidents getting into trouble about certain things.
We did.
So we can address that, because a student can claim their work before they turn in a master's thesis or something of that nature. That's before they turn it in or upload it and send to the professor. It can be utilized. A professor can do it before they go in and get ready to write a book or something that can clean it. We deal with books. We've seen books that have been manipulated by some of the large, I won't say any names, some of the large distribution companies of where you get books and other things online. They have manipulated books to change the author's story and put in computer or AI generated images of what they thought that author might look like. And that author finds somebody that says, wait a minute, I saw a book similar to what I read on XYZ site. And they'll send it to them, and these authors are like, whoa, wait a minute. So we've seen stories come out on Medium and on Substack about people that have had their work stolen and had copies of their book rewritten in the third person or something like that. So we've seen it's oh my. We talked about voice.
Right.
We've seen actors and actresses. Recently, Morgan Freeman's voice.
Right.
In so many different things, and some of his administrators thought it was him, and it's not.
Right.
So we can protect a lot of that. That's a solution. But digital images, especially here in this area in the retail space here, we can protect and become a solution to work with these companies, build a incredible enterprise blockchain level, some type of platform to help protect those, because once those images are up there, you don't know. Everybody gives freely. Take pictures, upload it to Facebook, upload it to this, upload it to that, without really knowing what those images are.
I'm working on a project also on another assistant for a school district. So official school communications can be verified by the parents. So that's going to be a combination of an assistant and FileBaby.
So think about that, Andy. Official correspondence. So if somebody hacking in the superintendent's office, changing, stories or something?
People steal their voices. They can steal their voice just in a couple of and then make them say anything.
Make them say anything. Elections, all this.
Wow.
With it.
Okay. So I want to stay here a moment, because I think our audience, I know they're leaning in on this because they understand. We talked about a trusted source. We talked about call to action. This is really the call to action of FileBaby, isn't it? And you did it. Both of you did a great job. But I want to just stay here for a moment, because FileBaby, it's both Karen and Orson said, it protects what's yours. That's powerful. Because, we all work really, really hard for that. All of us put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, and into what's ours. And we've worked for it. We've earned it. We've earned it through our hard work, education, etc. We've earned that. So, again, protect your original writings, your papers, manuscripts. Protect your name, image, and likeness. That's pretty powerful.
Yes.
Protect your original artwork, music, lyrics, videos, creative content. And you're in that space of music and art. I know you spend a lot of time in that,
yes,
Orson, and you understand that. I know you're passionate about that. And protect your creative integrity.
That's right.
Now, I have to say that again. Protect your creative integrity.
I could give you an example that goes well with that. This was a conversation this morning where my Dutch friend, Roger Verkoven, and his friend Arno, but they were on a thread with Adobe because of the way LinkedIn has implemented content credentials, you can't see the artist's name. And they're like, wait, we are Dutch artists. We specialize in making original artificial intelligence creations. And we want our names on there. We want our name to show. So think about it. And he had Jesus in the puffer jacket instead of the Pope. He's the one who did the Pope in the puffer jacket, and he put Jesus in the puffer jacket. So the Pope in the puffer jacket was pretty famous. But anyway, they want their name in there, even though it's fake. Yeah. So there's all kinds of different use cases for why people want to see what really is in this thing? What's in this sausage? What's the ingredients that were chopped up, and how can we prove it? Well, the only way you can prove it is if you have the credentials going in. And then you teach the AI to understand the credentials and then output credentialed output. And so that's what we're working on in C2PA and the AI machine learning working group.
Wonderful. His main thing, I would tell you, when I met these wonderful people, the more knowledge I learn about this, a bit more concerned I get, and I mean concern out of the importance of this. And you go on and talk about it maintain authenticity of your content and intellectual property, and then get security beyond watermarking and copyrights in your digital space, and on and on and on. So FileBaby, now walk again to us, tell us again, how can our guests, our viewers, get FileBaby?
Go to file.baby and click subscribe.
Okay.
Let's do something for Andy, Karen.
Do something for Andy.
Let's do
Okay.
something for Andy.
You need to write it down and send it to me, his code.
There you go. I know where we're going. We'll give Andy a code.
Yeah, so we'll give you a
We'll give
code
you
to
a
put
code.
in your.
We'll give Andy a code for his audience too.
Well, you're kind.
No, I need to put in the when you distribute the video, we'll give you a code to
Okay.
put in your
Yep,
chat.
we're
Okay.
gonna give you a
Discount
code.
for
We're going to give you a
viewers.
discount for your viewers.
That's not necessary, but okay, now.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So, as we wrap up, and what else, and you all have been so great with your education and knowledge today. So what else would you tell our listeners as we wrap up? If, as they say, okay, all right, this is huge. And so I want to do these things. And I know you go there, but anything else you would tell our listeners, our viewers today?
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Really, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Utilizing this and knowing how, getting some of the knowledge on how to use this, I think is a space where people will really identify and not shy away from it. And it's something that can help. It's not something that's harmful if it's used properly. So the knowledge of that can be done young and old, because I know kindergartners that are getting taught programming right now, and so they can start picking up on some of this because it will be easier. And as Karen mentioned, school districts are already using this.
Yeah.
And so her platform.
Companies, organizations, profit, nonprofit,
Personal households should have subscriptions for this, for their families. They're putting pictures out on Facebook, but claim it. You don't want to see somebody in your family's picture that's misused. So claim it. File it.
Yeah.
Or even see them in the next blockbuster movie.
That's right.
As brought to life as the star and not get a penny for it.
Right. Wow. Okay, this has been great. It's so good to have you back. I want you back really soon. We're going to work on that and get them back, because this is so changing so rapidly. Again, we want to be a source for your information on our website. Doing dbbnwa.com will be their website, their information, be a link to FileBaby. All of that will be on our website, where you can reach out to them. And how do you do that? So we'll do that. We'll also I want to put a link where they can buy this book.
Oh, sure. Blockchain Tethered AI on O'Reilly. It's available widely,
Right. We want to do that, and we'll figure out what else we need to do. But thank you, Karen and Orson.
Thanks for having us, Andy.
Thank you so much.
you.
It's so great to have you. I look forward to you coming back. I've said that like 12 times, but anyway. So
nice to
put a
feel
little
so
pressure on
welcome.
them. But thank you for sharing and educating our viewers and audience. Thank you for that. Thank you for what you're doing for all the industries that you've mentioned. And now thank you for having a product that's not only just for company or organizations, but it's for personal use too.
Yes.
And we're not going to stop this. AI is going to continue to move forward in everything we do. But again, we have trusted resources here to help us along the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, my name is Andy Wilson, and we're doing business in Bentonville. Thank you for joining us. Like us. Go to our website and subscribe to us. We'd love to have you as a regular listener to our programs. There's so much coming on that we're talking about, not only in this space, but retail, omni-channel, which is all part of omni-channel, what we're talking about today. So thank you so much. It's great to hear from you from time to time. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.